All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling what might be the single biggest question on everyone's mind right now. Is AI coming for my job? I mean, this is a conversation that's happening everywhere, from the dinner table to the boardroom, and it's causing a ton of anxiety. So let's break it down. And this isn't just some abstract fear. It is deeply personal. I mean, look at this quote. It's from a viral Reddit post written by a woman whose husband, out of the blue, said he didn't want to start a family anymore. Why? Because he was absolutely terrified that their kids would grow up in a world where there is simply no work left for them. It's a gut punch of a story, and it really captures the fear so many of us are feeling.
So is this a rational fear? Or is it just, a classic case of late-night doom scrolling? In this explainer, we're going to move from that really personal anxiety to the much bigger picture. We're going to look at the hard data, the proposed solutions, and what the future of work might actually look like.
Yeah, that Reddit post, it's not just some one-off panic attack. This widespread anxiety is now clearly showing up in some pretty startling economic numbers. The data shows a real shift is happening, and it's happening fast. Just look at this. In only the first 5 months of 2024, the tech industry slashed over 74,000 jobs. That's an 80% jump from the year before. And we're not talking about small companies. We're talking about giants like Amazon and Google, who are openly saying AI and automation are a huge reason why. So welcome to the AI layoff wave. And believe me, it's not just contained to Silicon Valley. We're now starting to see how this economic shock is rippling out, both nationally and globally. And some of the projections are, well, they're truly eye-opening. For example, a major report modeled what would happen in a country like Australia if AI is adopted really quickly. The result? By 2030, this is the percentage of the entire workforce that could be out of a job. Let that sink in. That's 1/3 of all workers. It's a massive tectonic shift. But here's the thing. The impact isn't going to be the same for everybody. Knowledge-based jobs, in finance and insurance, they face a massive 56% risk of being displaced. But jobs that require you to be physically there, like construction or education, they're at a much, much lower risk. This whole disruption, it's surgical. It's not a blanket bomb. And please, don't make the mistake of thinking that having a high-skill job makes you safe. This is the CEO of Anthropic, one of the top AI companies in the world, saying we could be heading towards a world where AI writes basically all the computer code. I mean, when the people building the tech are saying that, you really have to listen.
Okay, so with all this disruption, the next logical question is, where's the safe harbor, right? Because not every job is on the chopping block. So let's go on a search for some job security in this crazy new landscape. A huge study from Microsoft looked at how AI could actually apply to different jobs, and the findings were crystal clear. On one side, you have jobs with high AI applicability, things like writing, translating, customer service. These are all about processing information. But on the other side, jobs like roofing, assisting in surgery, massage therapy, AI has a really low applicability there because they all require physical presence and hands-on skill.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. An AI can probably write a great book on how to give a haircut, but it can't actually cut your hair. It can't replicate that human touch of a massage therapist or the steady, precise hands of a surgical assistant. For now, at least, these physical person-to-person skills are uniquely human. So if we know which jobs and skills are at risk, the obvious next step is retrain everybody, right? Well, that brings us to the big official response. Governments all over the world are pouring billions of dollars into these massive programs designed to do exactly that. And everyone's trying something a little different, but the goal is the same. Singapore gives its citizens yearly credits for new courses. France actually gives workers paid leave to go retrain. The UK and the US are funding tech education and teaming up with giants like Apple and IBM. It's this huge, coordinated global effort. And the idea behind all this is actually pretty powerful. As Singapore's program puts it, this isn't just about getting another piece of paper to hang on the wall. It's about developing a completely new mindset, a mindset of lifelong learning and constant adaptation. It all sounds good, doesn't it?
We've got a clear problem, and we've got a clear solution. But this is where the story takes a turn. Because we have to ask a really tough question. Is all this retraining actually going to be enough?
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but when you look back at the history of these huge, expensive government programs, the answer gets really complicated. According to a really deep analysis by the Brookings Institution, the evidence that these programs work is surprisingly weak. Looking back at similar efforts in the past, they concluded it's just not clear that they've ever worked all that well.
And there are a bunch of reasons why. Past programs just didn't lead to any real long-term gains. In fact, in some cases, workers actually ended up earning less a few years later because of the income they lost while retraining. Plus, it's almost impossible to predict which skills will be hot in 5 years. And let's be honest, many workers just can't afford the time or money to start over. And on top of all that, this AI shift is happening way, way faster than any industrial revolution we've ever seen before.
But there's an even bigger, deeper problem that some economists call the productivity trap. Think about it. In an economy like Australia's, which isn't super diverse industrially, making things more efficient with AI doesn't necessarily create new jobs. It just leads to layoffs because there's nowhere else for those workers to go. You become more efficient at doing something that a machine will now do for you. It's a dead end. So, if mass displacement is a very real threat and our go-to solution, retraining, isn't the silver bullet we hoped it would be, where does that leave us? Well, this brings us to our final act. We need a new way of thinking. It's not about fighting the machines. It's about working with them.
The key idea here is something called AI augmentation. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of AI replacing a worker entirely, multiple studies are showing that the most likely outcome is AI acting as a kind of super-powered assistant, a collaborator that handles the grunt work, freeing up humans to focus on what we do best.
This is the new division of labor. AI handles the endless data analysis, the repetitive tasks, the pure speed and efficiency. That frees us up to bring the skills that are, for now, irreplaceable: emotional intelligence, creative problem-solving, empathy, critical thinking. You see, an AI can tell you what the data says, but a human understands what it means. So the future probably isn't some epic battle of human versus machine. It's more likely going to belong to the people who figure out how to collaborate, how to use AI as an incredible tool to amplify their own uniquely human talents. It's really about learning to be the pilot, not just a passenger on the plane. And all of this leaves us with one final crucial question. Maybe we've been asking the wrong thing this whole time. Maybe the real question isn't if AI is going to take our jobs. Maybe the real question is, what kind of human work, what skills, what contributions are we as a society going to choose to value in a world where machines can do almost everything else? And that is the conversation we need to be having right now.